We will go ahead and call the Solid Waste Committee to order. We are going to start with a prayer led by Mr. Joe Howell.
Let us pray. Our most gracious Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you, Lord, for this another day, Lord, the many blessings of life. We thank you, God, for the privilege you give us, Heavenly Father, to meet in this capacity tonight. We just pray that you'll look over the committee, Lord, Heavenly Father, our leadership, and just grant them, Heavenly Father, the wisdom and courage to make the decisions that affect all of us here in White County. We pray, God, that just be with those who are less fortunate than us tonight, Lord. And most of all, I want to thank you for saving our soul. In Jesus' name we do ask.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, sir. Roll call, please, essentially.
Dakota White.
Here.
Larry Daniels. Chris Brewington.
Here.
TK Austin.
Here.
Jordan Koch.
Here.
Becky Golden. Here. Roger Mason. Mr. Chairman, you have a quorum.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, so we've got a special presentation tonight from our 4-H from our high school and Ms. Kim Eller. They are presenting to the entire commission, not just the Solid Waste Committee. So we'll give you all our undivided attention and go ahead.
So hi everybody, we are the Ag Issues team at White County High School. We picked an ag issue, we picked agriculture land loss, and what we do is we kind of make a debate and it's more of a presentation, and we compete in February. And part of the requirements of the competition is that we go into our community and present to a couple of committees, so that's what we are doing today. We are missing a member due to illness, so we have a couple alternates in place, and this is our first presentation, so bear with us, but we are excited. And if you have any questions at the end, feel free to ask us. We will have questions at the competition, so that's even better practice for us. But yeah, we hope you guys enjoyed. Any of the facts you want to see us fact check them, we can email you the websites we got them from. So yeah, thank you.
Welcome to Farm Talk Live. I'm your host, Addie King, and today we're exploring a controversy shaping the future of American agriculture: agricultural land loss. According to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, America loses on average of 1.9 million acres of farmland every year. That's roughly 3 acres a minute. Who's to blame and who benefits the most? Let's meet our guests.
I'm Katie Eller, your field reporter. From family farms to city councils, everyone's talking about what's happening to America's farmland.
I'm Bradley Kelso, a commercial farmer. My family's been farming for 3 generations, and each year I watch another field turn into concrete.
I'm Logan Holman, a land developer. Growth isn't destruction, it's progress. With nearly 1 million new Americans added every year, people need homes, schools, and businesses.
I'm Isabella Sackett, a real estate agent. I help families find places to live. When the population grows, housing has to grow with it. Otherwise, working families are forced out of their own communities.
And I'm Landon Kurt, a soil conservationist. My focus is the health of our land. Once it's sealed under pavement, it's gone forever.
I'm Sam Thurton, a small farmer trying to survive while property taxes and land prices skyrocket.
Nice to meet each of you. Let's get into this debate.
Where's our farmland going? According to American Farmland Trust, between 2001 and 2016, the U.S. lost 11 million acres of farmland, much of it the most productive land near cities. That's an area roughly the size of Maryland.
Now I see firsthand. My county's lost 20% of its farmland in just 2 decades. They built a subdivision right next to my soybean field, and now I deal with complaints about tractor noise, dust, and even the smell of natural fertilizer.
No, but Kelso, you're leaving out a key fact. 95% of population growth in America happens in metropolitan areas. People are moving toward opportunity, not away from it. Development supports local economies.
And the housing market is struggling. The U.S. has a housing shortage of nearly 4 million homes. Families can't wait on farmland preservation if they can't afford a mortgage. Land near cities is the only place we can build, where people actually work.
And it drives up land prices and taxes. The USDA reports the average price of farmland increased 47% in the last 10 years. Farmers can't afford to expand, but developers can.
Because farmland is disappearing near cities, we're losing good soil, not desert land. You can't rebuild what nature created over thousands of years.
I'm farming on the edge of a subdivision now. Half the time, people treat my land like a park. They walk dogs through my pastures. They don't know that their green space is actually my livelihood.
So the struggle isn't just about land, it's about who can afford it.
My farm's been in my family for over 80 years. The land means more than money. It's our history. But when developers offer 3 to 5 times market value, how can we say no?
It's because growth is natural, Sam. The U.S. population is expected to reach 370 million by 2050. That means more homes, roads, and businesses. Development creates millions of construction and retail jobs every year.
Every farm next to a city will be under pressure. I'm not fighting farmers, I'm helping teachers, nurses, and young families who need a place to live. We can protect remote farmland while building responsibly near cities.
But what about the environment those people depend on? Topsoil forms only 1 inch every 500 years. Once you destroy it, it's gone forever.
Landon, that's why we build green developments with parks and retention ponds. We're adaptive.
Well, you can't plant corn in a park or raise cattle in a cul-de-sac. Every acre lost makes us more dependent on imported food. The U.S. imports nearly 15% of its vegetables now, and that number is rising.
And yet food prices are stable because of global trade. We're not an island, we're a global economy.
Tariffs are affecting U.S. agriculture, increasing input costs for farmers, and causing market uncertainty. Regulatory tariffs for other countries make U.S. farm products more expensive, leading to lost markets, especially for our corn and soybean.
For the first time in years, beef prices have been extremely high. But what about corn prices? They're all making money from my beef sales. If I can't pay to feed them and I'm losing all my land, I'm going to have to sell my farm.
Sam, my average buyer wants a 2,000 square foot home on an acre of land. That's not much.
A 400 home subdivision is equal to 400 plus acres. That's a lot of land.
It's clear that everyone defines progress differently. Farmers see land as survival, developers see it as an opportunity, conservationists see it as something sacred, realtors see it as a path to housing security.
To me, progress is keeping my land alive for my kids. The average age of a U.S. farmer is 58, and young farmers can't afford to buy land when an acre costs over 12 grand in many regions.
Progress means using land efficiently. A single acre of developed property can support hundreds of residents or businesses. That's a better return than crops that depend on weather and subsidies.
And a single affordable development can change lives for generations. If we don't build, cities become unlivable for the people who serve them. Firefighters, teachers, workers. Progress should help people, not just protect dirt.
No, Bella, that mindset ignores ecosystems. Healthy farmland filters over 13 trillion gallons of rainwater every year. Your shopping center can't do that.
You know, in 1970, the U.S. had 6.9 million farms. Today we have fewer than 2 million. That's not progress. That's a warning
Or
sign.
maybe it's just evolution. Technology, urbanization, and modern needs shape the future. You can't stop growth.
No, but you can guide growth. Smart zoning and conservation easements can protect essential land while still building homes. It doesn't have to be all or nothing.
Briley says farmland loss threatens food security. Logan said it drives progress. Landon says it destroys natural systems. Sam says farmers are caught in the middle. Isabella says housing affordability is a crisis. Who is correct?
Property taxes in my county went up 30% in 5 years. How are small farmers supposed to compete?
Then just sell. That's how the market works. Growth pays better than the agriculture.
But Logan, you're talking about short-term profit, not long-term survival. You can't eat money.
And you can't raise a family without a home. Housing is not a luxury, it's a human need.
And you can't grow crops without healthy soil. It's not just about the people, it's about the planet.
Okay. Let's take a break. We've heard all sides. The farmer who feeds us, the developer who builds for us, the realtor who houses us, the conservationist who warns us. Each believes their side is the best, and maybe all of them are right.
According to the USDA, by 2040, over 18 million more acres of farmland could be converted to development. The question isn't who's right, it's what will be left.
And until we decide whose future matters most, the farmers, the developers, or the soils, this debate will keep growing, just like the land we're fighting for.
Maybe the real question is who we're fighting for. Ourselves today or the generations that will come after us.
Who really controls the land that makes the decision? Land is usually controlled locally by county boards, zoning commissioners, and city councilors.
And most of them have never set foot on farmland or even know what it takes to run and operate a farm.
Local officials try to support growth. People need jobs and homes.
Housing demand drives policy. If 500 families show up asking for affordable homes, elected officials should respond.
But what about the ecosystem? They don't get a seat at the table. Soil doesn't get a vote, and watersheds can't speak.
And small farmers are outnumbered. At every meeting, it's the developers and supervisors, farmers in overalls and hats. And guess who gets listened to?
When land becomes too expensive, the biggest threats to small farms.
In many rural counties, property taxes increased 20 to 40% in the last decade. Taxes rise because the developers buy land around at sky-high prices. I'm paying taxes like I'm sitting in a mountain tractor.
But tax hikes aren't just from housing developments. Counties raise taxes to pay for schools, roads, and emergency services. Growth funds communities.
And it pushes farmers out. In Tennessee alone, over 2,000 farms have disappeared since 2012. Most weren't failing farms, they were just taxed out.
But selling land gives families financial stability. Developers provide opportunities that farming can't.
And when that land is gone, so is your local food supply. Tax policy should reward paving our soil that feeds us.
Who will farm next? The average age of a U.S. farmer is 58 years old and rising. This is becoming another issue involving agriculture land loss.
I know young people who want to farm. They just can't afford it. The cost of buying a single acre can be over 12 grand. In some urban counties, average 20 to 30 grand an acre.
And beginning farmers face massive loan barriers. The USDA reports that 70% of young farmers face land costs as their #1 obstacle.
But young people can work in construction, technology, or business instead. Why pressure them into farming?
Because someone has to feed your workers, your builders, and your families. Farming isn't optional.
No, but not every acre has to stay farmland. Some land can serve new generations differently.
Not when those generations will need food. Global demand for food will increase 35 to 56% by 2050. We're losing farmers right when the world needs them the most.
Who really owns the land? There's another player in the farmland crisis, large corporations and investment firms.
Exactly. Investors bought over 3 million acres of U.S. farmland in the past decade. How can family farms compete with Wall Street?
Investment firms buy land to lease to farmers, and that supports agriculture too.
Well, not when it drives prices up. Institutional investors often pay 20 to 60% above market value, pricing farmers out completely.
But they bring stable, long-term capital to rural economies.
And they also treat farmland like a stock market asset, not a living ecosystem. When profit becomes their only goal, soil health is the last of their issues.
I've already had letters from investors asking to buy out my land. They don't know who I am. They just see dollar signs.
So the fight for farmland isn't just local, it's national?
Can America feed itself with all this land loss? The USDA projects the demand for food in the U.S. will increase over 20% by 2050.
And yet we're losing the land needed to produce that food. The U.S. loses enough cropland every year to feed 34 million people a healthy diet.
Modern agriculture is more efficient than ever. Yields increase every year thanks to technology. We can grow more on fewer acres.
Not when extreme weather takes out crops. In 2022 alone, climate events cost $21 billion in agricultural losses. We need more land, not less, to absorb those losses.
But people need homes just as much as they need food. Cities are facing record shortages. Ignoring housing is not an option.
You can build homes up, but you can't grow food in a high-rise. Once the soil is sealed, the food potential is gone forever.
So the real issue becomes, can America feed its future population if we keep shrinking the land that feeds us?
Farming isn't just crops. It's the backbone of rural America. Nearly 1 in 10 rural jobs depend on agriculture. So what happens if farms disappear?
When farmland turns into subdivisions, rural towns collapse, schools close, co-ops shut down, equipment dealers leave. I've watched 3 local businesses close just in the last 5 years.
But new housing brings new residents and new spending. Retail stores, restaurants, and all services follow development. Growth revives struggling towns.
Until the farmland's gone, then what? You can't build an economy only on rooftops. Rural America needs a long-term foundation, and it starts with agriculture.
But agriculture alone isn't enough. Many rural counties are shrinking because farming doesn't employ as many people as it used to.
And yet it supports over 22 million jobs, including processing, manufacturing, and distribution. When you lose the land, you lose the jobs.
What happens to rural communities if farmland disappears? It's a question few people want to ask.
Another concern rising nationwide is foreign ownership of U.S. farmland. Foreign entities own over 40 million acres of American land, and the number keeps climbing.
Exactly. And we sit here and argue over subdivisions while foreign companies buy up farmland quietly. That land will never come back to American farmers.
But foreign investment brings money into rural areas. Some companies keep the land in production and improve operations.
Not when competition drives up prices so high that farmers like me can't expand. Some states have seen farmland values rise over 15% a year. because outside investors are bidding like crazy.
But foreign ownership still makes up a small percentage of the total U.S. land. It's not the monster people think.
It becomes a monster when the land grows our food. Food security is national security. If we lose control of agricultural land, we lose control of the food system.
So now the debate isn't just about housing or farming, it's about who controls the future of America's land. We have had a great debate. Let's move to final thoughts. One sentence each.
Food independence matters.
Growth is opportunity.
Housing is a right.
Soil is life.
Farmers need help now.
And America must choose growth, food, or the ground beneath our feet.
The debate continues.
Well, job well done.
Thank you.
I think you all did an excellent job.
Thank you, guys. We appreciate you for letting us come and
For
present.
sure. So since it was geared towards the commission, if any audience members wants to speak to them, please do so afterwards. But does any of the commission members or anyone up here have any questions or comments we'd like to say before we move forward?
Job well done. Come back when you can.
For sure.
Thank
That was a big topic that we had for budget this year. That was the struggle that we're having. A lot of key points there that we just went through, for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I know White County Farm Bureau, they've got some statistics that the Farm Bureau Federation's done about the rapid loss of farmland. I don't know if you have any county-specific statistics, but I'd be interested to hear that if you have any.
For sure. Anyone else? All right. Thank you all so very much. Job well done. Miss Eller, would you like to have them stand up here for a picture?
Sure. That would be good. So, you guys will go that way. Right up there. with you.
However y'all want to, just come in here and Mr. County Executive, do you want to stand with them? Gotta have an official picture.
Does any of the commissioners want to join in? I mean,
Here's the room for all that.
yeah, go right ahead. I mean,
We're gonna stand up.
and if you do have questions, we have a PowerPoint we can send to each of the commissioners along with all the websites where they got their data. So, and that county-specific data will be in that,
Wonderful.
so. Thank you very much.
Thank you all for coming. Good job, y'all. Good job.
Thank you. That was very.
That's great. All right. So moving forward with the Solid Waste Committee, we will go to number 4, which is approval of the report from December 1st Solid Waste meeting.
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have any other discussion? All right, we will move for a voice vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It does pass. Number 5 on the agenda is an update on hiring a part-time convenience center worker.
Right now, I'm not seeing a need to do that. If that changes, I will bring it back.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. Number 6 is old business. Do we have any old business to discuss for the Solid Waste Committee?
Mr. Chairman, I have something if I could.
Yes, sir.
One of my constituents asked me to follow up on the permit for the Central View Center, and also they was under the impression there was some discrepancies in when the permit was possibly filed, and I don't know if they thought it was filed later than what was initially said. I don't know if there's anything to be said about that, or if it was or was not, I don't know.
3 different times. We sent it in, they came back with a need for more information. Obviously, when we answered the additional information, we sent it in with a new date at that point. Then they came back in a 3rd time with some questions on some drawings for the plan. We sent it back in a 3rd time with a 3rd additional date on it. So it all depends on which permit they saw or which date they're.
I think they, when you gave your speech last month, I think you had said it would have been filed a couple of weeks prior or something. I think that was the one they were referring to.
Okay. It was filed when we said it was, then came back and each time had a different date on it.
Do we have an update? Is it on the permit process?
The permit is here.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Permit is here. Next step is an engineer's involved. Anything that's over $50,000, we have to have an engineer or architect involved. And this will be over $50,000.
Okay. Thank you.
The entire project, like moving dirt and rock, that is what's gonna be over 50.
Yeah,
Right.
and the purchasing of the compactors. And
Gotcha.
yeah.
Thank you. Any other, you good, sir? Any other old business? All right, we will move to number 7, which is new business. Does anyone have any new business to come before the committee? Solid waste? All right, we will open it up for questions from the community.
Yeah, I've got a couple of questions.
Yes, sir, just come state your name, please.
All right, we need my name and address.
Just name's fine.
Joe Davis is my name. I live on Old Kentucky. Your numbers, guys, kind of confused me when I looked through the budget. I don't know why we didn't get out of, I thought we were getting out of the garbage business. That was the big thing, was selling the dump. I talked to Denny, we're getting out of the garbage business. Well, it seemed like to me we haven't got out of the garbage business at all, because the budget this year, the sanitation fund, I don't know what all that accumulate, or entitled, or incurred, or whatever, $3,854,000. That's not getting out of the garbage business, okay? You got 750, I don't know why we don't have somebody pick up the garbage. That's beyond me, why we are still, we got 9 convenience centers. And I know at mine at Cassville, now I have to go to, the other day there was 3 people there. Sometimes there's 1 person there. So I know there's at least averaging 2 and 9 centers, plus truck drivers and all that. You can't tell me that we can't find a service that'll pick up your garbage along the road. My neighbor pays $60 every 3 months, $20. We pay $5 of that already to our electric bill. And then we $443,000 for our convenience centers this year. That's $1.125 million. And we have, and here I'm going off Google, in White County, 10,000 residences. Is that about right?
That's probably.
Okay, 10,000 residents. Residences, not residents, but you do the math. Well, I don't know why we're still farting around trying to be collection centers, spending, probably gonna cost you a couple $100,000 over at the dog pound. By the time you're done, let's be for real, in-house and contracted service, it's gonna be a couple $100,000. Before you know it, guys, we could have had somebody picking up the garbage. Might help some of this crap being piled up in front of somebody's house because they don't have a vehicle, or they don't wanna, they might take it to the road, may not, but it might help something like that. I don't know why we don't look at something like that.
Very good question, and I would say, just for a quick answer to that is, so I was in the trash business for 3 years personally.
You told me, yes.
Yes. It is very, very expensive to run routes in such a rural community.
Brother, you got 29 people that's working at these convenience centers. I looked today, garbage trucks, you can get a garbage truck, 2019, 2020 model for a little over $100,000. That's pretty reliable, you get some years out of it. Get you 2 garbage trucks, you can hit it twice a week. You got enough people. It's not rocket science, but we gotta think out of the box. We can't just keep, like you guys have said 100 times, kicking the can down the road. We can be out of the garbage business. This thing here with the sanitation management, I have no clue what that means. That's a line, or that's not a line item, that's a whole section in your budget, sanitation management, $3,411,000, $3 million.
Is that an income, Chad?
No, that's an expenditure. It's an expenditure. And I don't know if Chad can answer, I don't know what it is, it's very vague.
Sure. I would say going into residential pickup would put us more in the trash business than we already are.
Well, okay, we'll contract it out then. And get out of it completely. You can do away with this whole sanitation management. Hire you 2 people who's gonna ride around and make sure it's picked up. You got inspectors that are doing the same thing on these people's houses.
Sure.
But you can hire 2 people, put them in a truck. It's not brain science, guys, rocket science. It's to me, I tell you what concerns me. Every time I watch a commissioner meeting, all you guys talk about, 90% of the time, is spending money. How are we gonna spend this? How are we gonna spend that? We gotta spend this. We got 1.9, we gotta build this, we gotta do that. You guys gave the kayak place an interest-free loan or low-interest loan. A month later, they tell you they want you out of there. That's kind of gutsy, okay? The state, we give them an interest-free loan on that property down there. We couldn't get the speed limit load.
Let's keep it solid waste.
Okay.
Solid waste.
Okay, solid waste. Another thing is, that dump over there is killing the property values. I don't care what you say, I know Hunter Copeland has lowered his 4 times now. And I'm not gonna go with that. Finish with that? No, I'm not gonna go there.
Okay.
But there's something that's very near and dear to my heart, and if it's true, it's gonna be some, possibly litigious stuff.
Chad, you care to explain a little bit about that sanitation fee fund, the 3.8 million?
Yeah, so when we converted it from an enterprise fund into a governmental fund, we kept the convenience center line. So everything that's in that convenience center line is related to your actual convenience centers, your workers. The sanitation management is another line that's related to your truck drivers that go and pick up the cans, that handle the waste tire recycling, anything that's not directly related to the convenience center operation.
That could all go away.
And that could
all go
that's
away.
related to the cans, like the purchase of the
Sure.
cans and the trucks and so on and so forth.
Okay. Mr. Davis, thank you. Are you gonna stay for budget as well?
Absolutely.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions, comments?
Just one question, not to put Jerry on the spot, but how many miles of roads do we have in White County?
800.
800. Thank you.
Any other public comments before we move forward?
I do.
Yes, ma'am. Please come forward.
Y'all know me, I'm No Chance Connie. Guys, why do we need to hire some people for these convenience centers extra? Because we've got 4 people in 2 days.
Well, we don't have to.
Okay,
You know,
we don't need that.
we don't have to,
We've
so.
got people that's standing around doing nothing now. Matt, we do.
He said if the need arises, he would bring it back, but for right now, our employment's fine. So,
How much do you estimate the convenience center to cost down there at the animal shelter?
Honestly, I'd be afraid to say a number. I don't know until.
Okay, are you gonna put a timeline, or are we gonna have a contract with this engineer, or are we gonna put the ball under and tell him to get it done?
No, I don't think to get it done.
Okay, did you reach out to the other one about the one at the rock quarry?
I have not yet, no.
We need to get that ball moving fast. Jackson Kayak, $3,000 a month is ridiculous.
Did they ask us to terminate our contract?
I'm not aware.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Connie. Anyone else?
Need to state my name, it's James Leftwich. I live at 119 Burton Street in Sparta, Tennessee. I was here, got my, little people here. I have had 3 birthdays since I was here. To see about getting a thing that was supposed to been, it's supposed to been a change of name put on a park. We've never seen.
Yes, let us come back. This is solid waste.
That'd be the next one.
Yep, you're gonna speak to the next committee, sir.
Okay,
Yeah.
the next
So,
meeting?
yeah,
No, just
no.
the next committee after this.
Okay,
Yep,
Yeah.
all right.
10 more minutes.
Just,
All right, I'm
yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
No, you're fine, sir. We'll move with a calendar update. The next time full court meets will be January 20th at 6 p.m., which is a Tuesday. And then the next time this committee meets will be February 2nd at 5 p.m. I'll accept a motion to adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you all.
We'll go ahead and we will call steering committee A to order. Could I have a roll call, please?
Roger Mason, Laney Selby.
Here.
Larry Daniels, Chris Brewington. Thomas Markson, Becky Golden.
Here.
TK Austin.
Here.
Mr. Chairman, you have a quorum.
Okay. This time I will entertain a motion to approve the December 1st steering committee A minutes.
Motion to approve is written. Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Okay, I guess this will be for our county executive, an update on Parks and Rec Director position.
Okay, I can't remember what I reported to y'all last. We went through the process again of taking applications. We've done that. We've got some, I think, some good applications this time, and we're waiting on the state. They kind of, not much happened over the Christmas and New Year's, but for them, we're setting up interviews.
Okay. Next on the agenda is update on sign at the David Culley Recreational Complex.
I spoke with, I have the date right here, Robinson Racing Product, who discussed about putting up the sign. They have sent me the proposal on what it's gonna look like. I got it on my phone here. And I had it, I that's what their, proposal they have sent back.
Okay, now is this, are they just looking at putting this on the existing sign?
It'll be a new sign.
Yeah, there is
Okay.
no existing sign
Well,
really,
yours-
it's just, I mean, there is, but it's not a,
Well, I don't, that looks a whole lot like what the existing one is to
well,
me.
it does.
Just, I mean, it's a name change, but it's,
And it'll have lights. It will have lights, yes,
It
no.
will have, yes, light, to light it up, not,
No, I know what you mean.
okay, yeah. You was asking, like, do you want to see it?
Please let him see it, I was gonna ask.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can.
This is what everything is supposed to look like.
Is this a sign that's gonna set up outside?
It's gonna, no, it'll be outside, yeah, they're gonna mount it and fix it up and light it, and it'll be lit. Is that what you think?
At least we'll have something.
do we have a cost on that?
We do not have a cost.
Okay, we do have a budget number for that though?
Yes, 10? 10,000, I think, not to exceed.
That sounds right, the best.
I would entertain a motion to, move forward with this as long as the cost doesn't exceed our budgeted amount. All right. We've got to have a second to even discuss it. We can, if we get a second, we can discuss what seems to be, what we're wanting to talk about, or we do nothing.
Second it, do I have to vote?
Well, yeah, we'll vote.
I'll second it so we can.
But odds are good, it's gonna be a tie, which it'll.
I gotta figure out. I'll second it so we can
Okay,
talk
we have a
about it.
motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
Yes. That's not what I had in mind. And I don't think that's what he had in mind. And I don't think that's what anybody had in mind. I understand there's a budget,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not very pleased with this.
Well, I'll agree, it's not what from what I'm seeing, it is not what I had in mind. But I mean, it's like, this thing has gone down the road at least 3 years. I mean, you know, I
can
don't.
tell you the date that we passed it. That was passed April 18, 22.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
I know. Drew?
Me personally, I don't like it. It ain't, to me, it ain't outstanding, but, you know, to represent somebody in the community.
What? I know I'm not supposed to be talking.
I mean,
But what
go
I
ahead.
can't understand, what I can't understand is that the community asks us for nothing.
mhm.
Go look up there, and you'll see that with the last one, I had to go almost to court, to get a road built up there, because the road was so bad you couldn't drive on it. You busted your tires and everything. We went through that, we got that fixed. They couldn't figure out whether it was the city or the county, because right down the middle is the city. The city owns that road, not the county. then when we get to this boy has done more than any sports person in this county that I know of. His family has been in sports forever. I go to the park out here the other day, and I'm not saying nothing about Roberts, but they got a big new Roberts sign, and anybody in here that's old enough remembers Eula Scully would be at every ball game. Every kid that he had would play ball. Ever since I was a kid, he never missed a game. His name is on the board up there, and it's rotting away. And there is a sign sitting down there. I have no idea. It's a city. That's not the county, I'm sure. But it just looks like that you're putting us in the back seat that we'll never be able to move forward. That's what it looks like with this sign here. We at first had enough money to put a big, nice sign down there. I have no idea what happened to the money. I have no idea what happened to the thing. The boy probably would even pay for it. It would be terrible to ask the man to pay for his own sign, and he's probably getting so that now he just don't want anything to do with sport. I mean, but you just think about where the boy's been. He played ball here. He played ball at Vanderbilt. He got an education at Vanderbilt. He's coached professional teams. How many teams has he been coached at? For the last 40 years, he's been on the road coaching. With professional teams, you'll see David Culley's name in everything. But we don't have anything here with his name on it. Nothing in this county. And I think it's kind of a disgrace.
Okay.
Can I address a little bit of that?
Yeah.
You're right, can y'all hear me okay? There was money appropriated for that, went through the committees, and that's where it was cut. And then you came, the last time you was here 5 or 6 months ago maybe or something, and I told you that I was basically going to bypass the committee, just handle it. And that's what we've been doing, working with Robinson Signs to get it put up. No relation, just in case somebody's wondering. And they've been pretty receptive and pretty good.
I never did hear anything else, and I just wanted to come back and make sure that y'all hadn't forgotten. I mean, some of the people that voted to pass this probably did. That don't sound good, I'm sure they are.
But yeah, we had a very nice sign plan that would light up, you could put messages on it, digital sign, and it got axed in committee.
T-Dot.
No, in committee, in the steering committee.
The T-Dot thing was, they wasn't gonna let us put it where we wanted to put it.
Yeah, we worked around that.
We're got limited access of where we can actually put it. Is where the T-Dot thing comes in. But
Why should we spend 50 when we get it for 20?
I mean, either we move forward with what we've got, or we need to get a committee together a design committee, if we aren't happy with what it is. I mean, I don't know, at this point,
I don't want to
I
kick
hate to
the
say
can
it,
down the road.
I'm ready to be done with it. Put
I am
something-
too. I
I
agree.
mean, like I said, I am not happy with what that is. Of course, I was tickled to death with our first thing, but then we got to debating on whether or not we was gonna spend the money on the field or spend the money on the sign, and it's.
Let me ask a question. Once you
I've ever been into it comes first.
Can I ask a question?
They put it on the back burner and then 10 years later say, let's get it done.
Is there any way that we can allot money out of the huge Parks and Rec fund we have to pay for it? If we could get a quote on something that everybody agrees on?
I think that's the problem. Everybody.
You kept getting hung up in Parks and Rec. There was 3 or 4 different options for signs presented and
Well,
nobody.
now, we do not have a
Now we don't
Parks
have
and
a
Rec.
Parks and Rec.
Yeah, now-
This is the Parks and Rec Committee now, so we do not have that to, so whatever we determine will be what we determine. So if we want to, I mean, if we're wanting to do like a design, I mean, I would be tickled to death to go back with what we had original
I would too.
done. And, you know, they can say whatever they want to about, you know, where we spend it. It's like, unless you've got a complex that looks good and is, you know, making people wanting to come to it, you know, that means a lot, the appearance. If you just put a small little sign out there, I mean, like what we've got down there now, it's, you know, it doesn't attract any attention. I mean, we've got a nice complex down there, but you drive right by it at, you know, 50 miles an hour now, and, you know, you never even know it's there.
So, when I was on the Parks and Rec Committee and this
Yeah.
came up, we had a guy that his parents own Chestnut Farms down there at Chestnut Oaks. He gave us a demonstration of a sign, and it was gonna be half of what the other people wanted. They wanted like 55,000, and his was gonna be 25,000. And nobody, I mean, you know, it was like half and half. Half the people wanted it and half didn't because they didn't want to spend the money. And then they were like, well, we might know somebody that can donate some money, or we do this. If we've got a Parks and Rec fund that has $300-something thousand in it, by God, why are we not using that for something like this? This is a park. This is a complex. You know, I'm tired of kicking the can, as you all keep saying. And I would rather do something like that and honor the man, something nice, instead of sticking his name up there and then putting all these other things underneath it. I don't get. I mean, I understand you're just doing what you're doing with limited resources. But that's not anything near what I envisioned that we were gonna do to honor the man.
All right, so we need to determine whether we're going to
Need to vote on the motion.
Okay. The motion on the floor is to do the sign as is with the allotted budget. So at this time, we'll vote on that. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, likewise. Aye. Okay, motion fails. Now then, tell you what, let me appoint a committee, a sign committee. Becky and Chris, are you willing to serve on a committee, I mean, a
Design
design
committee.
committee?
I'll help as much as I can.
Okay, I mean, it'd just be a matter of, getting some, and I think what we had originally done would more than, be appropriate.
Wendy said aye on the first, on yes. And then us three said aye on no.
You get 3 no's.
Yes.
Is that right, Chris?
Yes, there's a no, yeah.
Just want to make sure we had the record right.
Okay. So, if you all can kind of get together and have something by the next meeting.
Yeah.
And let's get this thing moving forward and done.
Yep.
I don't know, it's almost, well, it is, it's very embarrassing for us to, it's been this long on this.
Yeah.
All right. Discussion on Scotts Gulf Road. I am assuming this is where the state had made a proposition to pay for half of the paving for that road, and the county matched the other half, which, before I put my 2 cents in on it, would you like to say anything about that, Jerry?
Whenever I first heard about it, it was the Welch's Loop Road was all I heard about it. This is the first I'm hearing of a match. So I'm hoping that it's just half of, from us to the four-wheel drive only sign. Is that right, anyway?
Yeah, I don't know if match is the right word. Apparently it's 4 miles from Scotts Gulf Road, or Eastland Road, out in Scotts Gulf to Welch's Point. Apparently, that's what I was told, I'm not measuring.
Yeah, about 4.3 or something like that.
The state was going to pave the latter 2 miles if the county would pave the first 2 miles. So you can look at that as a match or a split or however you, I don't know how you really want to define that, but it's basically a split 2 miles each.
And it'd still be a county road?
Still be a county road.
Out of county fund, right? Not out of my paving fund, right?
Hey,
That would be my suggestion, but yes.
Because there's not a single taxpayer who lives up there. And
Yeah.
I personally,
well,
think we can spend our funds in a better place, but
that was my thoughts on it. I know that the park itself is a big draw for us. I mean, it does help our tax base with getting people in here and everything, but, there's people wearing that road out, gravel. It's been gravel for as long as I've been around, and I really don't see the benefit. It's not gonna get any more people in there.
it's not costing us much.
That-
They're great,
that's
2 or 3 times a year.
not, I know the state wants to have, a really nice complex and everything, but, it benefits them more than it does us.
Here would be my recommendation. If they want it, let them have it. Let them have the whole road, because we don't have no business even being out there. Let them have it, let them pave it, let them take care of it.
Yeah.
If they want it, let them have it.
Yep.
Because it's not benefiting me whatsoever. That 4 miles, nobody lives out there. I don't have anybody's gonna come here and beat me up to that road
Mhm.
track, pothole thing, So, let them have it. We can get it set up.
My question would be, where are they thinking on this visitor center? On the Lost Creek side or that side?
They hadn't determined that. That was one of they've talked about the Lost Creek Inn, they've talked about the property at, the Rock House, and, which that's kind of halfway in between both of them, and then they've talked about doing it at the top, so. I don't think they know, so.
There's not been a consensus yet, but I do believe the Lost Creek site has been ruled out.
Has been rolled out?
Yeah.
Okay. I figured because of more utilities, that one might be less costly.
And Lost Creek side is like not very accessible. It's even less accessible than the top end of it.
That's not a sure thing, but right now
It's like pretty much a single lane road into it.
Mr. Chairman, would you like me to, have a representative from State Parks to come maybe the next steering committee meeting and
Sure.
and explain what their thought process behind wanting to do this? And maybe we could give them an option of giving them that road. I don't know.
The only, how far, the county road actually goes to the cemetery, correct?
We're going right past it, now it says four-wheel drive only.
It stops at
It's
the,
about 4.3.
right below the cemetery,
Yes, sir.
at the little turnaround right there, right below the cemetery at the
Yeah, we
spring.
actually just overhauled it right before Christmas break. So
Okay.
It's in great shape right now, it's rolled packed tight. It should be, everybody's getting in and out of there really, really good right now. It costs us roughly around $10,000 a year to maintain it. So it's, take a long time to make up $250,000 worth of, with asphalt. That's just my opinion.
All right. Well, we will keep that on the agenda for our next meeting. Hopefully have a representative from the state park to give us a little better idea about what their intentions are. All right, moving on to number 7. Is there any old business?
Could I
Huh?
ask something?
Yeah.
Following up with kind of this, has there been any more discussion in regards to Kane Hollow, the possibility of working with the Corps about getting a ramp paved, like an access ramp at the end, or has there been anything else said?
The county road actually goes another probably 40, 50 feet past where they actually stopped it off right there. So, I mean, technically, we can go down a little bit farther. We can set up a meeting.
Yeah.
Because if you measure it out, it's actually stopped several feet short.
I just think it would be very beneficial for those people that live in that community to access, it's one of our few lake access points that's actually decent.
Especially when the water's low like it is.
Yeah.
That's what I was fixing to say, that water's way down right now, way down.
Again, I'm not being the devil's advocate, argue there's no citizens live down there about suing them to pave that park. I mean, I know it's not as much money, but just being a devil's advocate for both sides.
Right.
It's already been paid though.
That's in her
Right, it's
district.
been paid. They was talking about building a boat ramp, it'd be out of the water right now. Well, not way out of the water. It's probably 150, 200 feet down the water.
Yeah, that's what right now.
Okay. Any more old business? Hearing none, is there any new business? Okay, would anyone from the audience like to address this committee?
All right, it's me again, Margaret. Okay, we had this sign all lined up for the school system to cut it out of a piece of metal. And somehow the ball got dropped. And then they could take and put one-sided digital sign on top of that on down the line. The ballpark would be named and it would be nice. But we don't want to put the digital sign up there until we know we've got Wi-Fi, we've got cameras, because it's going to get damaged. We can get a one-sided digital sign like we were talking about before, probably for 10, maybe 10 to 15,000. One-sided.
There
That's
is
really,
Wi-Fi there.
yeah. Oh, there is
There
now?
is
Okay,
Wi-Fi.
because I know they didn't at the
No,
time.
there is now.
So do they have a way we can get cameras?
I mean, we could set cameras up with the
We're
Wi-Fi.
gonna have to have that or
Yeah.
somebody damage it. But I think that with going back with the school, doing the metal sign under the bottom and putting the digital on top, you've got a win-win. You can add to the sign for as all the things that's going on. But at the bottom, it would be a permanent thing, and you could probably put lights in behind it or something like that.
I don't know what happened with that.
I do, it just fell through the crack.
Well, it's a state scenic highway, so if you run into that billboard stuff, it's kind of tricky.
Mhm. But if you set it kind of sideways with one side, I don't believe it'll be as bad as a double side. And move it back just a little, because you gotta move it back away from the road.
We, TK set a committee up, if the committee would, I'm sure we'll have to post a public meeting on that committee when that's being had, so I'm sure there'll be some discussion that can be had.
But I know Rick Mays can cut it out of metal, because I asked him a price, it was $250 plus a donation. And that's a 4x8 sheet of metal. And then, like I said, the digital sign, one-sided, 10 to 15,000, probably at the most. So.
Okay, thank you. Any more new business? Okay, calendar update. Tuesday, January 20th will be full court, and our next steering committee A will be February the 2nd, following the solid waste committee. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Okay, we'll go ahead and call steering committee B to order. Roll call, please.
Hayden Rogers.
Here.
Dakota White.
Here.
Kyle Goff.
Here.
David Cranford.
Here.
Jordan Cook.
Here.
Robert McCormick.
Here.
Derek Hutchins.
Here.
Mr. Chairman, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Okay. I'll entertain a motion for the approval of the minutes from the last steering committee B meeting.
Motion.
Second.
Have a motion, second. Any discussion on the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, we'll move on to 4, update on property tax freeze work session. I noticed during the holidays, I don't think we had much of a work session that went on. If we got any update on it?
I think we were wanting to, we were waiting till this month or next month for the schedule of lighting for the property assessor and the trustee to actually schedule that, I believe is what we were waiting on. So I think we were looking for, we kept it on the agenda so we could set a date for you to set a date, like maybe February or March for that.
Okay. So we want to wait and set a date till we talk to everybody, or? talk to
Mr.
the chief?
Executive, they said they were tied up through February.
Yeah, in the February.
Oh, yeah, collecting property tax.
So we'll move that into March. Okay.
So put it back on the agenda for you to have a date for a March date. Will you
March
check on,
date. Right,
check with them this month and set a date for March and announce it in February?
right, okay. All righty, move on to item 5, fire engine. Do you have anything on that?
I don't care if they speak on that, that's whole source.
Yeah, go ahead, if you've got some information on it.
Yes. So in the general consensus, I apologize for not being able to attend the previous meetings due to family stuff. But that being said, I think the request was from this committee for me to reach out to each of the fire chiefs and have a discussion on could that fire engine be utilized by a department here, and also check for storage options for them. As Bonnie Croft currently now has that at a member's house in I think it's the hay barn or something, some form of shed or structure. That being said, the answer from all the fire chiefs, including the rescue squad, was the answer no, that could not be utilized by their department. There was no need for that engine in their department right now. And the only fire chief that said that they had room for housing was Chief Brunton. He has an open bay. Outside of that, that's pretty much what I got. It's a 98 or 1985 Sutton, as you all know. Most of that's been explained. The asking price is $25,000. My recommendation as a fire coordinator, I think it's very important for us to come up with a standard procedure on how we handle these, whether they're owned by the county, whether they're owned and we liquidate them. We have, since me being hired, has taken different steps to utilize some of those options. What I do not want us to do is in the process, and Director Markham can back us up on this, is what we did when we repaired Caskell's engine. That was a 2001 Ferrari truck that had been bought previously back in 2001 by county funds, as several of them still are in this county. Bonnie Croft has one of those also. Caskell had an accident in that truck. It was sold to a private party. I remember that truck, the county deeding that truck. Some of you came was here when that happened. We deeded that truck to the Caskell Fire Department. The county did. They turned around and sold that, utilized that money to go towards another engine with their insurance money. So that being said, we in turn basically turned around and bought that pump again that we utilized for a repair on Bonnie Croft's truck. So technically we paid for it twice. That, in my opinion, is not a good process. Listening to last year's budget and some of the small numbers versus some of the big numbers that we discussed and had multiple meetings over and watched no votes and yes votes, I think that if we have a process, whether it is department owned or whether it's county owned, I think it would be great for a committee to be put together or a work session to be had. I can give recommendations for that. The rescue squad had an Excursion, which is a 4-door SUV. Ford was the model. We basically took and, Director Markham, we utilized the county's GovDeals account. We let them put that on the county's GovDeal account, and we let that Excursion sell for them, and then they just routed them, kept them from having to watch the auction, kind of took some of the stress off of them. They did have the option, if I'm not correct, to no sell that, if that was the process, if it didn't bring what they wanted to do. My recommendation is to see if Chief Smith, I have not spoken with Chief Smith to see if this, but whoever has been in contact with him, maybe Chief Brunton or myself, I don't care a bit, to be the one that calls and ask if he's open to that idea for now until we can get something put down on black and white, because I don't think we need to have a meeting every time we go to get rid of a piece of fire apparatus here. We have a standard operating procedure for the sheriff's cruisers, Mike's ambulances, Jerry's equipment. I think that whether we are a full county fire department or not, we are a county fire department in a way, because we're taking tax dollars and property tax and putting them towards funding and equipment, even more so now. So we will technically, in 7 years now, we will have some equipment that will be aged out that we will need to be sold. So we'll need a process for not only large equipment, but small items of equipment to be able to take those back into county's possessions because they're at loan, and then being able to utilize them on a government website to be sold for surplus or whatever. I'll be glad to reach out to Chief Steele on y'all's recommendations, see if he entertains that. He always has an option to no sell that fire engine if that's an option, if Director Markham would be glad to do that, or somebody.
Well, just to add to said 25,000 was what he.
I just know
At
that.
the work session, he said that he would take 20,000 for it, or trade it for a side-by-side.
Okay,
So that's an option too, just
okay.
so y'all, I mean, that was what was discussed at that
That
meeting.
we had the work session, he did
Sure.
come with,
Is that truck a county vehicle?
No, it's on.
No, it's owned by the department. It's kinda like Central View's engine,
Sure.
the old Honda engine 36, and I'll just be honest with you, we didn't sell that back there, we gave that back to the department, it kinda come through from us. and
So,
it was sort of a-
The SOP, are you talking about for doing that for how to get rid of something, or for how we're gonna go about using it if we were to buy it?
Well, so that's a two-part deal. You would have to have something on paper and an operating procedure or a set of guidelines that we would go by if we were selling it, if we're gonna do this. What's the process? What's that look like each month? I mean, this could come up again in 3 months from another department. I don't know. I've not heard of that going to happen. And then also, if the county was to purchase the fire engine, what will we do with it? Where will it go? What's it look like? And so forth.
Sure.
You and Commissioner Austin mentioned the $25,000 listing price, but
Yes.
you mentioned the
He
possibility of
has
using.
it listed somewhere.
I was gonna
he
ask
said it was
where,
LSEN
Yes.
and other places.
Yeah.
He said that he had it
when it
listed
feels
for
already only gonna be
25,
this.
but
It's
for
not.
the county,
No, sir.
he would
No, sir.
do the different price or do the trade.
The gov deals account Chad, is a little bit of a process for us to set up. I mean, as far as I really wouldn't want to set up or on and mitigate that. It's pretty simple, like the rescue squad's excursion. We just listed it, they took the pictures, they wrote their own paragraph, how they want it written. We just basically posted it for them and was the money avenue, so everything's checked and balanced and stamped and all that, so.
I like that, personally.
I'm willing to do whatever, I'm working on y'all's recommendations, so whatever you want me to do would be the next step that I take. I mean, that's what I'm here for, is a fire coordinator, as emergency management.
Well, we've heard from him that there's not a need for any of the other fire departments to have it, so I don't see us a need in purchasing it.
That came from, all of them, and the rescue squad chief, yeah.
And honestly, I wouldn't.
I
I
mean,
mean, unless
called you
one of the
too.
departments absolutely needed, I still wouldn't recommend, because it's a
Now, if
very.
they need a place to store it.
That goes back to we bought a pump for one that we had sold, back from one that we had sold. We, done without a, fire truck, sending it to Nashville and,
I think,
just devil's advocate here, not necessarily whether you need it right now. This is a truck that and
Does it have parts on it that we interchange with other vehicles that we have in the fleet currently?
no. It's a 1985 model.
And the more it sits, the more problems are gonna come with it.
It's a 1985 model.
I think taking the approach to just having the discussion with the possible sale, with the option of no sale, of course, I think that's a great strategy to look at, because it's not definitive. If it goes great at auction and the department decides, because they are county, but yet they're not county, our
Right.
fire department.
Yeah, that's what I was
So,
saying, like,
I get what you're saying.
It's very hard, and at the same time, it's easy. Let me start and say this. I will commend this commission, because even though, myself included, I never get it all right, we are brainstorming. So I don't think we'll make that mistake. The 2000, like TK said, the pump that we bought twice, we never thought of that happening when that truck was deeded back. Now, we know as a commission, we'll never make that mistake again, because there's still 5 on the road. So I'll use Central View, for example. If Central View, which we do not have that style of pumper, if we wanted to get rid of that pumper, it's a county pumper. I could see the county saying, no, we're gonna stick it back somewhere. we still have 4 others on the road. We still have 4 sister engines on the road. Kind of like we do ambulances, Doug does it with patrol cars, right, Sheriff? Jerry, same style. We would do that. This is one of those situations, I'm here because it was asked by this board to research and reach out to the fire chiefs one-on-one, and that's the information that I've gathered. It does not match an engine that sits in our fleet right now. So, like I said, Chief Burrington does have an empty bay that if it does for some reason need to go somewhere to be stored, he did offer that, but he doesn't have a need for that either right now. We are, as a consensus, out of room. The rescue squad's got a trailer that needs to go. I have 3 light towers that's not sitting on county property of about $100,000 right now that was received through a grant. They're not even sitting on county property because we don't have nowhere to put them in the dry. So, one's in a utility district, $60,000 generator sitting in a utility district. So that's the other thing. Where do we put this to keep it from freezing? You know, they have to be in a conditioned space for the most part. They do have the pump drain now, but if we was to keep this thing readily available or in working order, and like Commissioner Cranford said, and Chief Burrington knows also, that if you don't utilize them, even open with the pump drain, valves open on, unless somebody's going by and checking it and exercising that pump once in a while, we know what's going to happen.
So are we on this truck, are they wanting to sell it just outright, or do we don't have a method for them selling it? Or?
Chief Burrington, I know that have you talked to Shannon some about that? I mean, as far as he's just wanting to sell it outright. Yeah, and I think he does have it advertised, Commissioner, he does have it advertised.
He said at the meeting he had it on local sales.
I think so, I think you're right, I think it is on, local sales, so I think he's reaching out for avenues, I don't think it's on gov deals, but that might be a way we could start the process, just to start it, just to see what it does, and he's always has the option. I know, Chief Burrington, I spoke to you about it, you said you thought that was a good idea, maybe a good avenue for us to utilize.
Like Shannon them's got 3 pumpers.
Right.
He don't need 3 pumpers, so that's the reason why he's selling his pumper. He'd like to trade it in on a side-by-side is what they're in use for, because of Scottsbluff and England's, you know.
So what's before us is either the county wants to buy it or it don't, so is it, not to jump ahead, but if we don't have a motion to buy it, then there's nothing else for us to do because the county doesn't own it.
Well, I guess are you okay, and
The gov deals?
Yeah.
I think we should open up gov deals as long as Director Markham says that is fine with no.
And I'll do whatever you guys request me to do.
Do we need to take any action, or, okay.
No. Thank you for that
Thank you.
work.
Yeah.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you for the explanation.
Any other questions? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Maybe later.
Okay, we'll move on to number 6, update on storage for circuit court clerk. I know Commissioner Mason had the update on it last time.
We were waiting on him.
I received that today.
We got a W-9 today.
Today.
All right.
Okay.
So forward progress.
His
Just moving.
question, he just wants to make sure that we want it. I mean, he still has it, he just wants to make sure we want it. If we don't, he's got somebody that'll take it, but he said right now, it's ours. But I think he just wants a confirmation that we want it, kind of next steps for us.
So I think the conversation I had with him in November, we were waiting on him to do the W-9, and then I think he's wanting somebody from the county to call him to have a meeting for site prep. They're supplying all of the blocks or whatever's needed to set it up, but they wanted to kind of have a look beforehand to see where we want to put it, make sure there's no issues or anything like that. So
So there's nothing we need to do on B to follow through with this?
I guess put it back on the agenda for next month.
Okay.
No, we've already allocated. Executive, will you be able to reach out to him and meet, or who would need to meet with him for that, I guess?
I'm not having to look at hold of him, but I'm going to continue to try.
The conversation I had with him, he said it's better to call his cell phone or text his cell phone versus an email. He said he responds quicker to text and phone calls than email.
I got it today. So.
You got it, okay.
Okay.
Is Jerry gonna help with the prep?
At this time, we don't know if there's any need or not.
Okay.
because he's laying block, I don't think it's really at a level. I don't-
He had made the comment before, Jay's one of us.
So, all this has already gone through full court, has it not?
We're just waiting for him to deliver it, yeah, it's already
Really,
allocated
all
funds.
we need is for
Him to
Chad
deliver
or
it.
anything, or somebody to tell him bring it on.
Did you go get the side?
All right, we'll move on to item 7, update on Roland Sawmill. Do we have any new information?
Last update I had, Director Markham was gonna take that information from the quote from Summertown Metals and flip that into an RFP. So that's on Director Markham's to-do list.
Okay.
List it back on the agenda for an update
Next
month.
Next month. Okay, moving on. Do we have any old business? Old business for B.
I don't know if it's old or new, but I wanted to bring up the sales tax referendum again for possibility. We had a lot of discussion during the budget process of people saying they didn't understand it, and they would have possibly voted for it if they would have known, and, that was what our work session, part of our work session was gonna be about. I think the holidays was just bad timing and some health stuff, and not everybody could come. But in a nutshell, if we have interest in the sales tax referendum, on the timeline of putting it on the primary, we would have to pass it this month. Or have a special session meeting in February before, I don't remember the date, but before full court next month, whatever date that is, the deadline will be before that.
So we would have to do something.
We would need to pass it.
Send it to full court.
It would need to be sent to full court this month if it's something that we were interested in.
I've got that resolution, I forgot to bring it in the office, but I wrote one for that. If y'all want to go get y'all. See,
As to what the
the resolution for that you would have to pass to send to full court to.
Put it in the primary.
Put it in the primary.
Yeah. I mean, that's all basically, it's wordy, but that's.
Do we need it to vote it in? Do we
I
need
don't
it?
need it to,
No.
it's gonna be the same as it was
Yeah.
the previous time.
Okay. Well, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion, a second, do we have any discussion?
I'll have a little more discussion about it. There was a lot of conversation after it failed about people saying that there wasn't enough transparency about what we were gonna allocate the funds for. Not that we have to allocate funds tonight to approve the referendum. I feel like it would behoove us to have an idea of how we want to allocate the funds realistically before we pass it, so the citizens know what they're voting for. I feel like we need to have a group consensus that what would be voted on, even if we could almost pass a resolution that says if approved, this is what we would do.
Could we repeal the property tax?
Can we lower the property tax?
I mean, my thought process is to have a large share of property tax repeal, for sure. I was thinking, I don't know what the numbers would be. Were you thinking $1 million, Chad, possibly for the sales tax? We're thinking maybe $1 million. That fluctuates. I would hate to max out $1 million right out of the gate, because we don't know. It fluctuates from year to year, but I was thinking, maybe 6 cents in property, bring fire services back up. We have capital projects that need attention. A lot of capital projects, but first and foremost is we keep talking about fire trucks. I would like to see a couple of cents allocated to capital projects to start the process of purchasing and replacing fire trucks. And the animal shelter is always a big deal. I don't know if we couldn't allocate a small portion of funds, dedicate a small portion of funds towards the animal shelter. I'm throwing options and suggestions out.
We had options at the meeting that you weren't at, that
Yeah.
you couldn't be there, and, first off, This has gotta be decided animal control or animal shelter. I mean, we can't keep doing what we've been doing these past few years.
Yeah, that, don't have anything to do.
I know that don't have anything to do with
Just
that.
go ahead.
Sorry.
So if we pass to have the referendum on the election, we can settle all this other later, right?
Oh, we can. We don't have to do anything until it passes, but the feeling that I get from the constituents is we're not gonna vote for it if we don't know what it's being spent on. So if we can't come up as a group to decide how we're gonna spend it or not spend it by repealing taxes, if you will.
I say we just let the county keep paying it and giving it to the city. Suits me just fine. It's what they're doing now.
First thing, I'm very skeptical to put this on a Republican primary. Well, again, we've been down this road a couple times. And second, if we peel back 6 pennies of property tax, there'd be nothing left, because 50% of that money's gonna go to the schools. There'd be nothing left for projects or.
Well, you're pulling out of your left pocket, and putting it in the right, so we've got a maintenance of.
Maintenance of effort on the.
We've got the maintenance of effort on the schools, you're right, half of the penny has to go to the school system, but
So
we're.
peel back from
Property taxes, because we're already what are we giving, 25 or 30 cents in property taxes to the school right now?
In order to make that, in order to get to the $1 million, you would have to reduce their property tax and increase their sales tax by proportion, by the same amount. That, the $1 million includes that 50% that goes to the school. So when we say $1 million, that's actually coming into the county total.
And 50%.
Including the amount the schools have to get.
Right, but if we keep the same maintenance of efforts for the school system, because they're gonna increase sales tax dollars, and you said we're gonna pull it back from property tax dollars, because the sales tax does not meet the maintenance of efforts currently, and we're having to supplement that through property taxes.
The maintenance of effort on the school system is a baseline dollar amount, so it's the bottom line total. It doesn't matter how you get there, whether it's, if it's the wheel tax, or if it's the sales tax, or if it's property tax, it's all put in, and it's the baseline number at the bottom.
But half of the sales tax dollars has to go to the
Yes.
school system.
Yeah, so then you would make that adjustment.
Out of that $1 million, for this tax year, now next year your pennies will have a different value.
Right.
But this year's around $100,000. $500,000 of that million is gonna go to schools. So you're gonna pull back 5 pennies
From the school system.
from the school system.
Yes.
So if you're gonna drop property tax 6 cents, I know that's not in stone, but you're using your scenario, 5 of that cents would come from the school system, and that would just be one that would leave 1 penny to come off.
And my question was, is we have enough pennies from property tax that we're already funding the school that we could do that? That was my question, and we do. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. I don't know if there's enough momentum for it to pass on a primary still. So, same as last time, you know, I understand the concept.
Yeah.
I think it's great. Yeah, I mean, Matches City, I understand that. I still don't think the, educational component is there for it to pass, and this would be round number 4.
No, I agree, but I think that we had a whole lot more people coming to us during the budget process. What's the call, well, I guess the last time we done it, we done a special call and it cost us $25,000, $30,000 to do. So this is basically gonna.
35 or 40 now.
So what's the cost to do this? Very minimal?
To add, it's nothing.
Nothing. So the cost to put it on the primary is 0, and the gain is potentially $1 million. It's obviously gonna take work from the commission to go out and sell it and to make sure people understand it is election time, so we're gonna be hot and heavy out talking to people. People are already looking and wanting to know what's going on. I think if we support it, and the ones that are running for re-election support it, they're gonna be out in front of the public a whole lot between now and the primary to talk about it. And it costs us nothing. If it fails, then we're no cost. We would still have time to put it on general in the fall if we needed to. I'm pretty sure that's right. If it were to fail in May, we could put it on the,
6 month timeout.
I was thinking it's 9. It's 6 to 9 months you have to wait.
you have to wait before you wouldn't be able to. Okay.
But I mean, there's 3 elections that we're gonna have next year,
Probably
regardless of
November.
what, so.
If he passed in the primary, we would have a vision for budget time to know, I mean, we would know where we sit if we wait till the fall to pass it, then that's gonna be another year of property taxes people are going to pay the higher rate on, we could plan for it during budget cycle this time versus in May and June of 27, is my thought process behind it.
Any more discussion? Have a motion, a second. All in favor? Any opposed?
No.
No.
Okay, so how many ayes do we have?
You may want to divert that to a roll call.
Let's do a roll call vote.
Okay, Kane Rogers,
No.
Dakota White,
No.
Kyle Goff,
Yes.
David Cranford,
Yes.
Jordan Koch,
No.
Robert McCormick,
Yes.
Derek Hutchins.
Yes.
4 yes and 3 no.
All right, motion carries. All right, then move on to new business. Do we have any new business?
I have something on new business too.
You only allowed one.
I only have one. Well, I've got one old and one new. So it's been on the agenda for the last couple of months, I think, for Bondi Croft Fire Department. I don't know all the details of, supposedly they went to the school board, something about a grant that they could not get or something because it was on school board property.
That was the overall, because I went to that meeting as well, that was the overall discussion.
Okay, and so Bondi Croft is on school property, so that, and they're asking for something to be done, I guess. The school has thought about taking it off of their property. There was some discussion about that, so it got me to thinking, who owns their fire departments? Where are they at? And Bondi Croft is not the only one that's on school property.
I think there's 3 on school properties,
Yeah.
is that right?
For Cassville is on it, Central View is on it, Central View 2 is on in Bondi Croft.
Is that right, 4?
That's the,
So so Castle Fire Department, Volunteer Fire Department, Central View has 2 locations, Station 31 and Station 32. Station 31 would be at the Central View School property, Station 32 is at the Queer Community Center, which is still in the school board's property's name. So that's 2 pieces of property there. Station 33 is on 2351 Sullivan Nose Road, and it's owned by the county, 100% fully owned by the county, deeded to the county, in the county governance, this county government, not the school system.
and I don't know the details of the grant or why it was not approved. But we just approved, I think, $10,000 to put a roof on Mount Gilliam Fire Department because the county owns that building, right? So it just got me to thinking, the school system is, I'm assuming, the school system is not going to fund repairs and maintenance on those buildings, but yet the county still owns them. And then digging even deeper, we have a couple of the fire halls that are owned by dead people. So I don't know, is it something that we need to get with the school board about and have those deeded to the county? I'm just, is this an issue that I'm making, or is it something that we don't know what we don't know?
Just a little bit. So this is it's one of those holes, and I know what the consensus was back in the 77, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, $1 as long as it was still used, and there's a lot more details to that. This is also kind of one of those situations, in the situation of, we had a trespassing issue at Station 32, we were at Community Center, so we were, Commissioner Gott, you may remember passing by there, I remember seeing all the cars that were encroaching over on the Community Center. I had to get, Sheriff's Department involved, and basically had to have a survey done out of the fire department's pocket. The Community Center, which was nice enough to help us and split the cost, we built our own fence there to keep that encroachment from coming off. That was paid by fire department funds along with some Community Center help and a donation. So, that being said, this is another one of those things that I think it would be great if there was a committee or something put together to help these fire chiefs. Fire chiefs can change every January, and when the fire chief takes over, there's a lot of things that people don't know. And there's some things that people that we absorb and that get grandfathered in that maybe we didn't have nothing to do with. Sometimes they're all positive, sometimes there maybe been some negatives in the past, so I'm sure all of you have heard. But I think it would be good, in my opinion, if it was more cut and dry. Some of them are in care of community centers with people that are on that deed, or people that have been passed away. It's just the way things are set up, and to be honest with you, you don't think about it. You're busy, Chief Burrington will know this, the recent call volume come out, you got volunteer fire departments touching 650 calls a year now. So that's almost 2 a day. It's twice a day that this goes off for a call of service of somebody that's trying to keep trucks maintenance, trying to sell trucks, trying to figure out what to do, trying to get side-by-sides, receive grants and so forth. So I think it would be good if we had something to kind of cut and dry, a process, and maybe what we know, who owns what. Some of the things down in the vault, when you read them from month to month, they changed. Something would overstep that, and there's a lot of gray area in some of those that were resolutions back in the day. So I think it would be good if there was some number of committee through this commission to go back to when they started in '78, and start researching these, to look. I spoke multiple times to Chief Bill Smith. He's the oldest standing fire chief in the county and one of the longest ones here, so has the most knowledge. I myself got started in '95. He started when the Eastern Fire Department started. So and those people are gone. Those people we're losing those people. So.
And we could probably include the budget nonprofit resolutions that we're not sure exactly where some of those numbers they came from, as far as the different departments or these numbers, and we're not sure
So
exactly.
there's 2 stories to that, and I can tell you that, and if that was asked of me, I can tell you. At one time, that was square miles, road miles, and then how many stations. So that being said, I've heard both stories, and there's resolutions downstairs that state both ways. So that's another thing.
We can add that.
You are correct, Commissioner Rogers, that is something that needs to be corrected also. The funding is split up, is when you have a substation, there's a resolution downstairs, if you have a substation, you're supposed to receive another $1,000 a year. Chief Burrington is one of those, Chief Smith and myself, through Central View. That's the only one that really holds true, that has actually got like a figure with it, that we can look back and say, this is why we fund it, when we fund it. So, but it's a lot for one person. It wouldn't matter if it was part-time, full-time, no-time, volunteer, it's gonna be a lot for any person to try to gather that. And I think it's better if it's a team that probably does it. But I will say that whoever's on that committee has to be dedicated and has to be willing to put the hours in, because there's a lot to get kind of cleaned up and bring back to not just this committee, but the public. I don't think the public really truly knows. We have been very fortunate in this county for so long to do the job that we've done, but we're over 3,000 calls a year. The ambulance service runs 6,700. And the sheriff's department, I think y'all was up to 20, so 20-something. So, we're running, the call volume's there, but we just get some things settled, trucks, engines, just a lot of gray area. And we've had so many meetings over these things, and we have so many what what ifs and what do we do next, when I think we could lay some of that on paper. That way it wouldn't be 3 meetings each time we had an issue pop up on some of the things that we can at least preventative maintenance, I guess you could say. Does that answer your question, Commissioner?
Thanks.
Any others?
Thank you, Dre. I'm right.
Has anybody else been to any of the school board meetings, the latest to know what they were thinking about the fire department property?
Obviously, I'm not speaking for the school board. They did meet on Thursday night, but I do know that currently we're working on a draft lease agreement that would be made with all the departments that are sitting on their property. It'd be like a $1 lease. It would be a 99-year lease. The current draft, I think, is like a 5-year, and then it would renew every 5 years, just so somebody's looking at it all the time, and it's not something that gets lost. It'd also be something that would be recorded in the registrar's office. You know, I think there's been some discussion about a lease for the Quebec Community Center that nobody seems to know where one is, but there was one made at one time, and so the thought process is just to clean that up. Again, not speaking for the school board, I don't think that they are, based on conversations I've had, I don't think that they're wanting to sell the property. I think they would like to continue owning the property, but they do want it to be utilized for the purpose that it currently is. Nobody's looking to move anybody out or do anything like that. They fully support the fire departments, always have, and are glad that they're there, but I think the lease would just provide some accountability is probably not the right word, but just some clarification on who owns what and does what. So that is where, as far as I know, the school board is thinking about. It is listed under new business on their agenda for Thursday night.
Who would the lease be with the county, or would it be with the individual fire departments?
The current thought process is that it would be with the individual fire departments.
So, they are,
Would that help in getting that grant that they're trying to get, or no?
No.
I don't know, and I've talked, I've not talked with Shannon, but I've talked with Danny a little bit, and I'm not 100% sure on what the grant was or what the implications were there that caused that, but I'm sure that lease agreement, I think, would assist in that situation.
Do we know the name of the grant and the grant organization that they were going through, that they got denied through?
He didn't say what it was, I'm sorry.
I'd be interested to know.
That's a very good question.
And the reason for that is I would like to know, because this may not solve that
It
problem, but we don't know that.
Yeah, he told me plainly it wouldn't, because I
Well,
asked him.
then we need to
Asked him
figure out
during
the
the work
grant
session, didn't we?
organization, and probably where that's coming through, the name of it. That way, like what we were talking about here, we can figure out like what this commission needs to do, so we can address that problem, so Shannon can.
Do you care to reach out to Chief Smith?
I do not care a bit. I do not care a bit, Commissioner.
Thank you, sir.
I'll be glad to do that. I'll get back to you.
I asked him during the work session, and he said, at least will not let him be able to do
Chad,
what he wants to do.
I think I know the answer, but if it's leased to the fire department, then I guess the question would be, who is the leaseholder and who signs the lease? The current fire chief?
The current fire chief, yeah.
Would, and then building maintenance would then still stay internally within that fire department. It wouldn't be, the county wouldn't be required any kind of maintenance.
The draft version of the lease is essentially just like it is now. The fire department would be responsible for everything that they're normally responsible for. I mean, currently the county pays all the utilities anyways, but any building maintenance or something like that, that would be a conversation with the fire department. And then if they had issues, they would come to the county. It would not be the school board.
Thank you.
But again, that's draft. I'm not speaking for the school board. I'm just telling you what's on the agenda, so.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Director. All right, we'll move on. The next full court meeting is January 20th, 6 p.m. And our next steering committee B meeting is February 2nd. And anybody want to give a motion? Well, anybody else? Do we have anybody from the public who would like to speak to steering committee B? Before we adjourn.
Here we go, of course. You know who I am, so I don't have to say. Okay, we're talking about in the work session about the property tax thing, freeze. get $1 million, Jenny Wayne said something about 9 cents, and then he also said take 6 cents off of the property tax and take the other $350,000 or $300,000 off of the animal shelter and the fire departments. Okay, how much did we get out of the money for the Rock House land? Was it $240 or $250?
40.
Okay, take $240 and give it to the fire department. We've already got that money coming back, so take it and give it to the fire department. Take the whole 9 or 10 cents, which it should be 10 if it's 100,000 per penny. Take the whole 10 cents off of the property taxes. That's the fairest thing you can do to this community.
Well, two problems with your thought process. The first is the money that we purchased the land with was in our savings account, if you will. So
I thought it was considered as debt.
it was in our debt services, so we pulled it out to put it back in.
Oh,
Like you just,
okay.
like you borrowed it from your savings
Gotcha,
account, you're paying it
gotcha,
back.
okay.
So, I mean, we could allocate it to them. That's taken away from our, from our
Well, you should have
funds.
not enough money floating around somewhere to give them 250,000.
But just specifically to your $1 million, sales tax fluctuates.
Yeah, I know that.
And,
It
you
could be
know,
more than $1 million.
it could be more, and it could be
Hey.
less if you allocate.
Can we discuss this at a
Another
work
time.
session or something instead of right here now? I mean, this is more work session stuff. We aren't making those decisions.
Right. And I did talk to Shannon about that land, and he said even if it's a lease, they will not let him get that building, the build on that. He has to have a deed. So that's what Shannon said to me, because I personally asked him.
Okay, so we'll move on.
I just wanted to.
Yeah, go ahead.
To clarify on that sales tax thing, I'm still, it's foggy to me, I talked to Derek the other day. So you're telling me if we vote yes on this, the taxes are already collected, there will be nothing out of my pocket? Because the taxes, this is when
So
the taxes was already picked up and went to the city or something.
if you shop in the county, outside of the city limits, it would change 25 cents per $100 that you
So
spend.
it would go up, though, that's.
In the county, in the city, you already pay that. Yes, sir.
You buy anything at Walmart,
I'm sorry?
you're already paying.
Yeah, that's regardless, I'm just saying, I wanna know how it works, but
Well,
I've heard, it's,
If
to
it
me,
goes
it's clear
the
as mud.
same, we get half. If it don't go the same right now, we don't get half.
You have what?
What's collected, the sales tax.
Because you have two different tax rates,
Yeah.
sales tax rates in the city versus the county. And actually, the city residents do not get to vote on it, because it's already technically in place. So it would be only county residents. In theory, yes, you would be voting for a sales tax increase.
Oh, okay, that's what, I just,
Yeah.
somebody else told me it's not gonna be an
Yeah.
increase, we already collected.
But
We'll
it's
just be getting it now.
It would be 25 cents per 100 in the county.
I got you.
50 cents, I'm sorry. 50 cents, I'm sorry.
Half a penny.
Stop you at $1 before I'm done.
Yeah.
So it's a half a penny
Yes.
to know what a half a penny is in sales tax, for every $5,000 you spend in the county, it'd be $25
Well,
additional tax.
That money that I was talking about earlier, that 3.9 million, whatever it was, for the 3.6 for this waste management services, that's 38 pennies. And we could somehow, you guys have got to, I give you, in my mind, some good scenarios about this trash pickup. You guys didn't hear that no more than man in the moon. Y'all went right on and blowed on past that. I don't understand. It seems, I don't know. I just don't know how, here again, we're talking about how we're gonna spend this money. You remind, this sometimes reminds me of my grandson, who's 8, got $10 for his birthday. Oh my God, we gotta go to Walmart. We gotta spend it. I feel that sometimes, that's what we're here. We got some money, I gotta spend it. I got $3 million from the dump, I gotta spend it. I got some tax money, I gotta spend it. You don't have to spend everything. Put some in your piggy bank. You just said you want to put $240,000 back in that could have been 3 pennies, right? Or 3 pennies we could have saved on a tax increase if we had it
That money
disposable for 2
was
years.
already there.
Regardless, but if we had it to give away or loan out, I'll take it for free. I'm sure anybody in this building would take an interest-free loan. not in the business of giving money away free.
Well, the state gives us a lot of money in grants, and it was a goodwill to the.
I understand that, but let me hear this here. You know what quid pro quo is, right? You fought and battled to try to get the dang speed limit lowered to 45 on 70. Would not do it, would not do it. We're not. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wouldn't do it, wouldn't even consider it. Want a four-way stop, want a roundabout, we want something. Won't do it. You guys gave them this property or loaned them the money or bought it for them, whatever you did. A month later, you got to 45 to 35, the four-way stop. How does that happen?
You've got Parks and Recreation, and then you've got TDOT.
I'm
Two
saying-
totally different departments.
I'm saying, sir, what I'm saying is I don't care if it's 9 different, they all work hand in hand.
I'll agree with you 100%.
That's cool. That's not
But,
right.
you know, the thing about it is, government does not work the way you think it
Well, I
works.
worked for the government.
It doesn't work the way you want it to work.
I've worked there a long time, but I know we
it's,
work together.
everything works slow, and it's,
So, but you don't think there's no coincidence about me giving you a $240,000
well,
interest-free loan?
let me put it to you this way. I think you can start picking up papers to run for your district.
I'm really considering.
And I think you ought to run. I think you ought to run. It'll be an eye-opener for
Well,
you.
you know what?
There's people that come in here just like you all the time that think they can change the world
I can't
if
change the world.
we would just do this.
But I tell you
It
what
is
I
not
won't do.
that simple.
I tell you what I won't do is just sit
Let's
there
move on.
and fall in line with every little thing.
Time's up, sir. We're moving on. Would anybody else like to speak?
I'm Emery Thompson. So on the, I'll say this just from my perspective as a person sitting at the house. I got a letter from Mrs. Golden about the sales tax. Of course, my kids call me on the phone, hey, we got a letter. I was like, I'm not voting for any new tax. So this conversation that we're having, you're explaining about the 50 cents and everybody's explaining all this. I personally, once I understood the purpose, I was like, that would have been a smart vote, yes. But I voted no. But I'll change my vote now. I vote yes. And my kids are going to call me and I'm going to tell them, vote yes. Because this is a smart thing. One of the things that we have is the disconnect between the government, our local commission, and constituents that just simply don't understand. They don't understand. I think if there's a way, if you're going to put this on that ballot, I think that you find somebody, preferably someone that is not a commissioner or not an elected official, and make a simple video that explains that sales tax. Here's what we gain. Here's how it's going to affect you when you're at Jose's Market, that's over there in the county. This is how it's going to affect you when you're down at the Mennonite guys and they're changing your tire. So here's the estimated amount of revenue. If it's explained, I think everyone's smart enough to understand it. But for me, I'm just telling you my experience. I get a letter, and I like Becky and Robert, but I was like, I'm not voting for any higher tax. But once explained, once I sat down and somebody's like, here's how this works and here's the revenue, I was like, okay, that comes up again. I'm gonna vote yes now because it makes sense. But not understanding the process, I think, hurt the whole thing. So I think if there's a way to, lack of a better term, campaign for information and the people know, you're paying, like she said, paying it at Walmart, you're paying it over there at Taco Bell and McDonald's and Sonic and everywhere else. So it's, I think if it explained in a manner, and we're a social society. So a letter is wonderful, I appreciate it, but how many of those letters went straight into the garbage can? So some type of media presentation, something where you can set it out there. It's kind of like here, let them come in, sit behind that, turn that camera on, and just get everybody in the whole county to share the thing. It's going to be on this date live, or you can record it, but I think that would help, in that campaign.
Are you volunteering?
Well, it might be, I'm running for commissioner, so that might seem like a conflict of interest to put someone's face on there, but I'd be happy to help write the script, run the camera, or do whatever I could, but, and if you could get a young person, that would really be good. You get a 25-year-old to come in here and explain all of that and be for it. I think it would do a world of good, but it's just a thought, so, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Right. Anyone else? All righty, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
All right. All in favor?
Thanks for
Go ahead. Anybody who comes
Yeah.
All right, I will call audit committee to order. I was the previous chairman, so I'll start this meeting. We call it to order, roll call.
Dakota White.
here.
Derek Hutchins.
Here.
Michael Lewis. Chris Brewington.
Here.
Robert McCormick.
Here.
You have 4 present, Mr. Chairman.
4 of the 5, we have a committee. So I'll open the floor for the election of a chairman.
Dakota White.
We have a nomination for Dakota White. Do we have any other nominations?
I'll make a motion, all nominations cease and elect Commissioner White as chairman.
We have a motion, and we have a second.
Second.
You made the motion.
Oh, yeah, motion.
You made the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second. Motion properly second. Any discussion? All in favor? All right. Congratulations, Mr. Chairman. Your turn.
All right, moving on to number 3 is going to be an election of vice chairman. We will
Robert.
open up the floor.
Robert McCormick.
Make a motion on nomination cease, and we elect Robert McCormick by acclamation.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, congratulations, Mr. McCormick. Moving on to number 4 is election of a secretary. We will open up the floor for nominations.
I'll nominate Chris Brewington.
I will accept.
Yeah, I'll make a motion, all nominations cease and elect Commissioner Brewington by acclamation.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Congratulations, Mr. Brewington.
We did good.
Number 5 is approval of minutes from December 6th, 2024 meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Minutes are approved. Number 6 is review of fiscal year 2025 audit results. Mr. Markham?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm pleased to report that the fiscal year 2025 audit resulted in no audit findings for White County. We had an unmodified opinion on our financial statements. No material weaknesses were identified, no significant deficiencies were reported, and no non-compliance material to the financial statements were reported. Additionally, our internal control over major federal programs, so that's federal funds that we received, there was no material weakness identified, no significant deficiency reported, and we received an unmodified opinion on our compliance of major programs that were audited for federal awards, and those programs were our COVID-19 Coronavirus State and Local Fiscal Recovery Funds program, and then also the special education cluster, which consists of the special education grants to states and the special education preschool grants. Both those programs were audited, and we did qualify as a low-risk auditee.
That is wonderful news.
Congratulations, Director Markham.
And I want to say thank you, Director Markham, because you are vital to that report and getting the no finding, so thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That's really a testament to the finance office and everybody that works in the finance office, and then also all of our departments. Without their cooperation, because they're audited through this process too, but they all strive to do the best for the taxpayers of White County, and that's our goal every day. Thank you.
That's Chad Markham, what that is.
I agree. I completely agree. So number 7 will be the audit committee's report to the county commission. We have to accept it and send it forward?
Yes, sir. So as part of the audit committee legislation that was passed by the state several years ago, the audit committee has to make a report annually to the county commission. I have a draft draft letter here for you guys that's just saying that you met today, you reviewed the independent auditor's report, and that no findings were detailed. Typically we've had, and just so everybody kind of knows, typically we've had a finding, and it's been because of our deficit in the solid waste fund when we were having to recognize the liability for the landfill, which we no longer have to recognize. But so since that's gone away, we have no findings this year, and we are just encouraging all the members of the legislative body to review the report in its entirety on the comptroller's website.
I'll make a motion to approve the audit committee report that has been submitted as a draft.
All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
We have a second. This will go to full court. Do we have any further discussion? If not, we'll move to vote. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? It will go to full court. Moving on to number 8 is the review of our fraud reporting process for White County.
So also as part of the legislation, TCA 93406, the audit committee has to have a method for citizens, taxpayers, and employees of the county to report suspected or known illegal, improper, wasteful, or fraudulent activity. We do have that in place through a phone number. Of course, the State Comptroller's Office also has a fraud reporting hotline that's also posted, but we do have this posted downstairs, and so this is just a review of that fraud reporting process. And there's really no action that needs to be taken by the committee unless they want to make some change to that.
I see no change being made. It's publicly listed. We all, okay. Thank you, sir. Number 9 is old business. Does the audit committee have any old business? If not, any new business? Okay, number 11, we'll open it up for public comment. This is going to be pertaining to the audit committee and anything pertaining to the audit committee. Would anyone like to speak to us?
Mr. Chairman, I just do want to take this opportunity again to thank the people that work with us every day to make to make the financial report happen in the very beginning. That goes from the people that are spending the money, need to spend the money and getting the POs properly. That's a vital part of the process, of our internal control process, to the people that requisition up those payments to be made at the various departments, to where it gets to our department where those checks are written, where the timesheets are turned in. All that stuff goes through multiple hands, and everybody in that process works diligently. I know there's several people that we call on from the finance department that aren't in the finance department, but that we call on them lots of times to help in those situations and make sure things are done properly, and they never fail to do that. And so I just want to say thank you to those people. They don't get the praise that they deserve for what that they do. When you're the person that's telling somebody they can't spend the money the way they want to spend it, or they got to jump through this hoop first, you're not necessarily somebody's favorite person. But that makes things like this possible, and I just want to say thank you to those people.
Yes, sir. I agree. I concur. All right, number 12, I will accept a motion to adjourn.
Motion. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Move to vote. All in favor say aye. Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you all. Approve of minutes for December 1st, 2025 meeting. Let the record reflect that all are present. I'll accept a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The minutes are approved. Director Markham, we will turn it over to you for number 3 in its entirety, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Amendment number 1 is a $2,050 amendment to recognize a donation from our insurance carrier. It's Tennessee Risk Management Trust. It's actually a safety grant that they put out each year. The funds from this grant, we send in a list of our requests each year, and some of them get approved, some of them don't. This year's funding request will benefit both the Sheriff's Department and the Solid Waste Departments. And this is a $2,050 that will be coming into the county and be appropriated for those departments through this budget amendment. It does go to the county commission for their approval.
So that's for general fund, and it does go to the full commission. You've heard the explanation.
I'll make a motion to approve to send to the full court.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second. Any discussion? We'll move to vote. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? It does pass and heads to full court. Solid waste sanitation fund, sir.
This is an amendment, and we may or may not want to table this. This is an amendment that I drafted based on last month's discussion around increasing hours at the Quebec Community Center. This is how much it would cost us to do that for the remainder of the fiscal year, to add 6 hours to that convenience center. So I'm not sure exactly how you guys want to handle that, but that is there if you do want to take action.
I think from the previous meeting, I think we're fine with no action at all. Is that, would you agree, sir? Okay. We will just, no action on that unless someone sees otherwise. Okay, we'll move to school federal projects.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Fine, this is a career technical education amendment. It's an reallocating $1,000 from other supplies and materials to travel. And this is part of the CTE Perkins Basic Grant. This has been approved by the school board at their December meeting and has been approved by the state. It does not go to the county commission. It just needs the approval of this committee.
contingent upon school board approval?
They've approved it, they approved it in December,
Apologies.
yeah.
Thank
No,
you.
it's okay.
All right, you have heard the explanation. Accept a motion.
I make a motion to approve.
We have a motion
Second.
and a second. Do we have any further discussion? All right, we'll move to vote. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, it does pass. And number 4 is the fiscal year 2027 budget adoption calendar.
So I think that we just finished the fiscal year 2026 budget process.
Yes.
It seems like it was just yesterday.
But here we go again. This is the fiscal year 2027 budget adoption calendar. This is laid out in a similar manner as it has been previously. Historically, we had set some special call meeting dates as necessary on this calendar, but in all honesty, we never necessarily stuck with those. We would change those during the meeting prior to that. So instead of doing that, I just listed that we would have special meetings, during the months of March, April, and May as necessary, as well as our regularly called meetings those months. I would draw your attention, we will send out budget proposal forms. Those will get distributed this month. And then we'll work with the departments to get that back in and get that in a format for the budget committee to review and to digest. I do want to point your attention to the end of the budget adoption calendar. So May 4th and May 7th are our regular budget committee meetings, and then I've also put the regular school board meeting on there. The school board is planning on a budget work session on May 26th, and then a special call meeting on May 28th for adoption. And the reason is so that their budget can be presented to the budget committee on June 1st, where it would then be adopted along with the county budgets in its entirety, so that can be proposed, the proposed budget in its entirety can be published in the Expositor on June the 5th. That way we meet our 10-day requirement for voting on the budget on June 15th. And we would have a public hearing for the fiscal year 2027 budget document at 5:30, followed by a regular commission meeting at 6, where we would vote on that budget. Also have a June 8th meeting, that second Monday night in there, when we historically have a special call meeting to address any remaining budget amendments for the current fiscal year, and then also present the budget documents to the county commissioners.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you doing this. This gives us a good look at what's to be expected, whether we've been through it or not. It gives us a good direction. So thank you.
Doesn't the state require us to have this submitted as well? Is there something we can submit?
It is, yeah, a calendar. We have to have a budget adoption calendar. It adopted ourselves. If we don't, there's one in the state statute that we have to follow. So it's better to adopt our own.
Does it have to go to full court, or can it stay with
No,
the
it stays here.
I'll make a motion to approve the calendar within committee.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve within the committee. Do we have any further discussion? There being none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All righty. Thank you very much, Director Markham. Moving on to item number 5 will be old business. Do we have any old business to discuss amongst the budget committee?
I have opioid abatement money to talk about. I don't know if you would consider that old or not. We have 5 nonprofits that have reached out for funding for this year. I will have those, I was gonna convey a committee to go through them, but we had enough to fund everybody that asked, or real close anyway. So the 5 that we have, one is South Central Tennessee Workforce Alliance. They work with the justice system, the court system mainly. We funded them last year. They were requesting $50,000 for this year. Second one is Seeds of Hope, which is another we funded last year. They too are asking for $50,000. The third being the Tennessee Community Service Agency. I tell you what, I stand corrected. This is the one that we funded last year, the Family Treatment Board that works first one, Will, I think is the, one that you're dealing with. Yeah, I had them two mixed up, I apologize. We did not fund this one last year. So this would be a new one.
The Workforce Alliance.
Yes.
Okay.
We will have representatives from each one of these coming, or I will tell them that it will be up for a vote at the county commission meeting so that you can ask appropriate questions that you could need to be asked.
The third one, the Tennessee Community Service Agency, how much was the funding request on that?
50. We've got 5 requests, 4 are for 50,000, and then this next one right here is a request from the White County Sheriff's Office for $2,000 to purchase drug test kits to basically test for fentanyl. That's correct. So that maybe, hopefully maybe save a life there or something. It keeps maybe an officer from accidentally contacting it. Fifth one is the White County Drug Coalition. And the White County Prevention and Recovery Coalition. Again, they are asking for 50,000. They were not funded last year. This is a new thing, and they will be here to talk about it. And they'll be trying to do opioid prevention.
So we have $202,000 to allocate?
We got 200. I'm probably, not probably, I am going to take a little bit, 500 to 1,000 off each one, except for the sheriff's. There's the 2,000, that's, we'll leave it. The other ones I'll probably do a resolution for 49,000 or for 49,000 something. So it'll be close.
Which will make it the 200?
Yes, we'll make it, yeah. But I just wanted to let y'all know, that's what, I didn't feel a need for us to bring in a committee to, because it wasn't really cutting nothing.
I look forward to them coming and speaking to us. I think that'll be very vital and important.
So this is within your approval, there's nothing that needs to be, no action needs to be taken from budget?
Well, I had told you on the phone that the budget needs to act upon this. When I went and pulled the budget numbers, we have already passed, already budgeted this.
We budgeted 200,000.
We already budgeted 200,000, but I still feel like it would be good for y'all to approve this in full court, that you're good to enter into a contract with these people to provide the service that they.
So you need a motion to come out of budget? Well, we already allocated, so there's no
Yeah,
motion
no,
to come out
you
of
don't need
budget.
to, I just want to give y'all a heads
Just
up
information.
that it's coming, it'll be in the packet for full court.
I look forward to them coming and speaking to us for sure. Any other old business? Any new business to come before the budget committee?
I have probably more of a question for Chad. Chad, I'd mentioned to you once before about maybe looking at our contracts with the mowing services. When do we start accepting those contracts, and when are they accepted and approved, and what's the process for that? If we were to want to change something with how we do that, what's the?
If that's something that we're looking at changing, that's something we probably need to do this month. We have the ability to extend our current agreement for 1 additional year before we have to rebid it. We do have the option of rebidding it if we want to. We also have the option of scrapping the whole thing and doing it some other way. But typically, we like to have those in place. If we're going through a bid process, we'd like to have those in place by the end of February because they need to start cutting grass usually in March, so especially at the ball fields.
I was wondering how much we spend on, do you know what those contracts off, probably off the top of your head?
Not off the top of my head, I mean, I'll be glad to get that, I'm sorry, Derek.
No, I didn't ask you.
And the contractor that we have, he does all of them, so some of that comes out of Parks and Rec, some of it comes out of county buildings. But we kind of lump them all together and do them in one big bid.
My thought process behind asking about that was if we're gonna have a Parks and Rec director and the bulk of that is in Parks and Rec, if I feel like we're gonna have maintenance needs at the ball field, if it was financially feasible to hire a couple of county employees to mow and to do for the county, it'd be cheaper to do that than to sub it out. That was my thought process behind asking that question, but it sounds like we're too late in the game this year to do that.
Well, Chad can get us some numbers.
Yeah,
And
so,
work it out.
yeah.
All right, any other new business? We will go to number 7, which is public comment. We will open it up to the public for any questions, comments to the budget committee, please. All right, there being none, our next meeting will be February 2nd, following the plethora of steering committees. I'll accept a motion to adjourn. Motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you all very much.
That's next.